Welcome back to the Big Purple Couch, and joining us here on the couch we have Sam Allen, a folk indie rock musician here for our first guest on the music episode.
Yes.
And Sam, tell us a bit about what your music, your bands that you've been in, the type of work you've been doing so far.
Well, I play mostly indie folk music, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
Basically playing with acoustic guitar, harmonica is where I started, but kind of as I progressed, adding more instruments, playing with more musicians, so kind of, adding violin or drums,
Wow.
bass guitar, things like that, depending on who I'm playing with. I've also played, or I did play in the band Horse and His Boy, where I played bass guitar.
Wow. How many instruments do you play?
I don't know, I mostly
I don't
play
know.
guitars. Like, I don't know.
Whatever I feel like.
I could play guitar and I can play bass guitar and
Okay.
harmonica. I can play a little bit of piano, and then it just kind of, anything you kind of pick up, you can figure something out on. But
Just
I wouldn't
comes
say.
from there.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been playing?
I started off mid-high school, maybe grade 10. Kind of taught myself guitar and bass, and moved from there.
Cool.
Yeah.
And teaching yourself instruments, that's got to take a long time. How do you teach yourself the harmonica? I remember as just blow into it, it makes sound. How do you actually make it sound good?
Harmonica is funny because it's kind of something you have to almost learn with another instrument. I found it was,
Okay.
for me anyway. I had a harmonica because I was into Neil Young, and I was like, yeah, Neil Young has a harmonica, I want to get one. And I had one, and it just sat there, and I didn't play it. And then I got more into Bob Dylan, and same as Neil Young, they have the harmonica rack, and they wear it
Yeah.
around their neck, and they play harmonica while they play guitar. So I kind of started that way, and as soon as I was playing harmonica and guitar at the same time, although you would think it'd be more difficult because you're playing two things at once, it ended up being easy for me because I could use kind of the guitar as a reference and build off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about, I understand you were involved with the project with local musicians. Why don't you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that?
Well, I was part of a group called the Open House Arts Collective
Okay.
in London, which started, 3 or 4 years ago. Basically, it was the idea, a bunch of musicians and artists came together, and we decided that there wasn't enough being done in London to promote
Right.
London to Londoners,
Right.
let alone to outside community. And I think a lot of people often overlook London and the talent that's in London, and that other musicians and things are doing. So we wanted to promote that to people. So we got together and organized a bunch of concerts and events, and we did 2 compilation albums to kind of spread the London music to Londoners. And I think it was effective. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it kind of served its purpose in that point to kind of get the scene going. And, there's a lot of younger people who are now kind of doing that themselves, which I think is good. But the group kind of has disbanded just as people kind of grow up and move on with their lives. But yeah, definitely a awesome
Sounds
part of my
exciting.
life. Yeah.
Sounds exciting.
And this project was kind of to get the ball rolling with local musicians.
Yeah.
Where is it now? What can local musicians do to get in the London music scene?
Well, the thing about the London music scene is it's kind of a little bit hidden. I think a lot of people come to London who are students, maybe go to Western, think of, if you're coming from Toronto, you think of Toronto as the cool hotspot
big
for
city.
music.
Right.
Right, that's where you're from. So if you're going to go to a concert, you're going to go home to Toronto to go to that concert, or you're to that art event, that gallery opening. So it's kind of hard to get people to come out to London events. So I think if you're in London, really you just got to go out to a concert, go out to local events. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big concert at the Centennial Hall or at John Labatt Center. Like, it can be, at the APK Live or at the Blackshire Pub or London Music Club, like smaller venues, and kind of just go to these local shows, these indie shows, and kind of meet people. And you can kind of go from there and play shows yourself. It's not that difficult to kind of go in, see a few shows and contact the venue and book the show yourself. I mean, they're always looking for local openers, so I'd kind of say get involved with the scene by being an audience member and then get to know some
Right.
people.
Get out and try.
Get out and try it, and then once you're out there, really, in this day and age, it's really kind
In
of
this
just
day.
yeah. You're really just, as a musician, you got to do it all yourself almost. So you got to kind of go out there, make yourself seen, and have some fun that way.
Now, you as well, you're also a Western student. You were
Yes.
saying you have to do all this stuff by yourself. So for all those musicians out there trying to get in the London music scene, what should they be doing as a student and as a musician?
Well, there's always a trouble, interacting as a student with the music on campus. Kind of, going to where you can, meeting people where you can, kind of making connections, because I'm sure there's a lot of really talented musicians on campus,
Yeah.
depending on what faculty you're in, I'm sure there's lots, so it's kind of meeting
Absolutely.
people that way. And then I don't know, it's almost like a second life, being a musician out in the scene. But it's important to try to, if we could get the Western population to go to these downtown indie shows, that's really a huge audience and a great opportunity for everyone to get involved.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming here on the couch.
Thanks for
Sam,
having
and
me.
for everybody out there, all you local musicians, there may be some local music that you're listening to in Nicole McFadden, our Western Lifestyles Reporters segment. But what are you listening to? So check it out and listen to Big Purple Couch.